his portfolio. Also wanted to mention yesterday when I got off the air, I went and met with my old friend Keith Nelson. Keith is a co-founding member of BUCKCHERRY. He and Josh Todd founded that band, and they've been the principal writers, and Keith produced a lot of the music. Keith left the band, I guess it's got to be probably 10 years ago at this point. Maybe not that much, maybe more like 6 or 7. I don't know the exact timeline when he left, but within the last 10 years, he left the band. The real core of it is he just didn't want to do the level of touring that BUCKCHERRY does. BUCKCHERRY plays constantly everywhere, and Keith has a young kid, and he just didn't agree with the level of touring and how much they were touring, and they just split. And BUCKCHERRY continues on, and they've got 2 guitar players in that band now, Billy Rowe and Stevie D, that do great stuff, and they made a new record, and they're doing their thing. And Keith, who again is an old friend, and we had lunch yesterday here in L.A., and when he and I get going, meaning get talking, it's hours. So our lunch was well over 3 hours. We started around 1:30, and I didn't walk out of there till like 5, I segued right into dinner because we just sit and talk. We, like I did with Kotzen the other night, these guys that are friends above and beyond the business, So it was great seeing him, and he's in a great place right now in terms of his career, even though it's not out there in the spotlight like BUCKCHERRY was with the songs that they had and all the videos and the hits that they had. He is working behind the scenes now as a producer and a songwriter. He has his own studio here. He's written stuff with Blackberry Smoke. He had a couple songs on that recent Tuck Smith record that didn't come out, unfortunately. He's also got songs placed with a bunch of different artists. So, we've talked about that in the past. There's some artists that love the spotlight. They love the attention. They love the road. They love being out there. And then there's others who pull away from that. Maybe they get a taste of it. They don't want to necessarily do that anymore, or it's run its course for them. They get older, and then they reinvent themselves while still working creatively in the music industry. And Keith has absolutely done that and done it very successfully. So he's a guy that moved away from the performing end and being on the road and started working with young bands and different bands and has built a really nice career for himself. He was also telling me he's managed by Joel and Benji Madden, the guys from the band Good Charlotte, who have a management company now, and they also have a whole nother existence behind the scenes from their band where they manage other people. They have a studio complex, and they're the guys that started that company Veeps, one of the streaming companies that emerged during the pandemic and all the streaming stuff during lockdown. And they developed that company and then sold it to Live Nation for a tremendous amount of money. So it's just fascinating. There are people that we see that no matter what condition they are, no matter how compromised they may be in their abilities to sing or perform, no matter how good or bad or real or canned and fake their performances might be, some that stay too long at the party, some that are 75 years old and still great. You see all that, right? And then there's the other people that just, they don't need the spotlight. They don't need the road. They don't need the attention that comes with that. They pull away from it, but they still get creative and still work in music off the spotlight, out of the spotlight, but in some cases do better, even financially, without all the drama than actually being in a band. So it was interesting. It was good to see Keith doing well, and we covered a lot of stuff, and we had a great time talking yesterday. But I was always a big fan of BUCKCHERRY, especially some of those early records, and a real band, even the current incarnation, a real band. No BS, that's another band that plugs in, amps buzzing, and 100% live and real. And I will always have the utmost respect for those bands more than ever. All right.